I'm Todd Cohen, the sales culture architect. There are four phrases that, if they're in your vocabulary, you are, as a leader, potentially quietly destroying your team. You don't even know you're saying them. They're like a reflex. And every time you use these four, you're actually teaching, you're training people who work for you that are bringing things to you that they want to sell to you, ideas, whatnot, that their ideas haven't moved anything and they haven't convinced you to take another step. I've been working with leaders on sales culture for a long time, right? At least as long as I've had my business, which is about 18 years as a keynote speaker. And this one of the biggest mistakes I constantly see from leaders at all levels of organizations is that everybody says, well, I'm curious, I'm engaged, but they're really not, and I call that an intellectual tourism. They ask the right questions, they listen, they nod, and then nothing, zippo, nothing happens. The conversation was nice, it was warm, it was pleasant. Nothing on the calendar changed, no next step. And everybody noticed, the team noticed. Intellectual tourism shows up in four phrases. Every single leader has used them at one time or another, and sometimes all four. The first one, it feels very thoughtful. It's, well, let me think about it. Sounds like you're taking the matter seriously. Unless that sentence is followed with a next step, a date, a time, or something, it's just a deferral. It's intellectual tourism. It's a goodbye. It's curiosity without the next step. Most of the time, the leader who says, let me think about it, never gets to thinking about it again. In fact, out of sight is out of mind. The calendar evicts them into the next thing, whatever the next Zoom, the next meeting, the next whatever they have to go to, and it's gone. And the conversation literally evaporates. If you genuinely need to think, fine, that's all good. Leaders don't necessarily have to make snap decisions. Name the date. Name the meeting where you'll report back. Let me think about it without a calendar timing attached to it is one of the warmest ways to do nothing in modern leadership. The second phrase that indicates intellectual tourism, and again, that's curiosity, showing interest without a next step. It's curiosity without anything that we have planned to happen. This is one I want to ban you from your vocabulary. Let's circle back. There's no circle, there's no square, there's no triangle, there's no back. There is a calendar and there's no forgetting. Or I should say, there is the calendar and there is forgetting. When you say let's circle back, your team, they hear a commitment. They hear that maybe, hopefully, you're taking this seriously. You experience yourself making one and then nothing. Nothing gets scheduled because nothing has been scheduled. Circle back produces exactly zero forward motion. If you mean it, put the meeting on the calendar. If you mean it, take the next step. Don't be the intellectual tourist. If you mean it, say something honest instead about whether what we're going to do with this or not do with it, and when, by when. The third of the four phrases that I mentioned that are empty leadership expressions. Ready? Keep me posted. I literally hate this one. This one is so bad, it's even worse than the first two. Here's why. Keep me posted offloads the work of follow-up onto somebody else. It basically says that I, as a leader, am abdicating the moment, and the bravest thing you did was bringing me the problem, but that's as far as we're going to go. They told you once, they've risked something, they've been vulnerable. People have come to you looking for validation, input, a safe zone. And your response, keep me posted, charges them a tax for caring about the problem more than you do. You see, what you've done here is you've said, it's on you now. They won't keep you posted. They told you already. If they have to tell you again to get a response, They've learned the lesson. What you've trained them is that you didn't mean to teach. The lesson that the bar for being heard around you is higher than it should be. Think about it. Keep me posted is saying to somebody, okay, I'm putting this back on your shoulders, and now I can go on to the next thing. If something matters enough for you to want updates on, you follow up. You don't outsource the follow-up to the person who already did your job for you. The fourth phrase that should be eliminated. Ready? Thanks for sharing that. Now, this may sound like, why? That's being polite, right? Well, yeah, it is. This is the most, actually, this is the most dangerous one because it produces the strongest sensation of like mutual closure, like I've made progress as somebody reporting to you who's the leader on the team or the leader in the organization. That strongest sensation of closure in both people in the conversation. You feel like you've honored their contribution. They feel like they've been heard. Both people walk out feeling good, feeling warm. Nothing happens. Nothing notices. Nobody notices. Thanks for sharing that, said by itself with no additional follow-up, no next step, no verb attached to it, is the warmest way to do absolutely nothing with information that somebody just had the courage to bring you. They had the courage and the vulnerability to trust you with that information. And what you've done is you've said, And the warmer it feels, the more damage it does, because that warmth is what allows the intellectual tourism to go untouched in the future by either of you. Here's what these four phrases have in common. They all feel like good leadership. They all sound great. They sound warm. They sound inviting. And they all leave the speaker, the person bringing the information to you, feeling heard. But not one of them moves anything forward because you have turned into the intellectual tourist. That's what I mean when I say intellectual tourism. Curiosity that does not lead anywhere. It does not lead to a decision. And it's costing you so much more than you know because your best people are now quietly saying that bringing things to you is pointless. It doesn't matter. It will go nowhere. You're an empty vessel. Is that really what you want to be known for? Leadership is not being an empty vessel. But hold on, there's more, because there's a fix. It's one sentence, out loud to the person who said whatever they're bringing to you. So what I'm going to do is, and then you do a verb. You add the verb, a real one by this time. Otherwise, you become the intellectual tourist. That sentence, so what I'm going to do is the difference between a leader who asks great questions and a leader who actually leads. And there is a difference. So here's your call to action, because all good sales pitches have a call to action. Otherwise, it's just empty. It's intellectual tourism. Try this tomorrow. Catch yourself the very next time one of these phrases is about to spring forth from your lips, about to fly out of your mouth. And you know it because your brain's already calculated that's what you're going to say. Replace it with the sentence, watch what happens when your team. Replace it with this sentence, here's what we're going to do by when. I'm Todd Cohen, the sales culture architect. Everyone's in sales, and that means we have to hold people accountable for not being intellectual tourists with us when we have the courage to bring something to you. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video if you care to, drop me a comment, let me know what you think, right, wrong, or indifferent. I want to hear, because I'm curious and I'm not going to be an intellectual tourist.